Okay, there we go. All right, so basically, this is just an overview of like IGVG play macro from inside the fort while playing defense. And the reason why I wanted to spend time on this is because when you're fighting tougher opponents, um, they expose a lot of your flaws, and I feel like the this was a pretty big one that I noticed that we had an issue with across the board with all VGs, and I don't think we ever sat down formally to talk about it. But I just want to kind of go over like what high level stuff you should be doing and prioing, and kind of indicators of what you can use during the war, to kind of dictate what you should be doing at all times. Now, this is different from G8. I'm talking specifically about anchor groups and flex groups, right? So as an IGVG, on defense in fort phase, this is probably your most important role at any time in any war, is like these resets and pushes. So as an anchor and as a flex, the IGVGs really want to be standing in this box here. So like, um, like right in this area here. Okay, and you're putting your Oblivion down, you're putting your Storm down, and you're waiting for a push, and you're trying to layer your ice walls with the other IGVG who should be here. Um, and to mitigate some of the damage, you should be popping your serum or regen potion and your fire pots or your gemstone dust, whatever you're using, and going back and forth between these two pillars here if you're taking too much damage. But how we're supposed to play as a group is like the G9 and G10 distros should come down, should be holding up shields here because their fight is trying to push in as well. So you have fortification bonuses from that, um, and so you want to play as close to the door as possible, right? I'm seeing a lot of VGs and a lot of, especially with newer VGs, like they get in the habit of doing this, right, and standing back here, and they're backing up, right? They back up more and more and more. But the problem with doing that is our biggest advantage, which is the attackers have to go through this choke point. If we're not pressing them here, they have more room to run. So like as they get more room past the door, they can leak in this way, they can leak in this way, um, and it usually spirals pretty quickly after that, where everybody is in. Um, so I want to make sure that this is the area that you're playing in, and it's really clear that we're playing in this area. Okay. Um, if you are anchor, if you're IGVG for anchor, or let's do it this way. If you're IGVG for flex, you should be here at the door with the other VG. If tick is 25 or higher, and they're calling flex teams in, you are the last person to leave. Okay. So I usually stay around here if I'm flexing, and bruisers and everybody goes back, and then I'll put an extra ice wall in, right? And then if tick is still continuing to press up, that's when I go. Okay. As an anchor,
Thank you.
you're the very last person to leave. Okay. And usually an indicator for that is like 50% tick, right? 50, 60%. That's usually your indicator that you shouldn't be here anymore. Um, but if it's not, and there's still people out here, you should be holding this space, and you should be putting ice walls here. You're making it as hard as possible for the lights to step in for free, okay, and get into fort. What was happening in the last war was a lot of the VGs were standing back here, right, and doing this. There would be like one bruiser. We would have like one disruptor, and then 15 people would steamroll their way into dirt. There would be 5 or 7 people coming up here, obliterating G8, obliterating G7, and then bringing it to dirt. So G7 and G8 got farmed, in a large part because of our poor door play. And I'll give you an example of like kind of what was going on here. Um, but can you guys see the screen here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So Hyper is a door anchor. Oh, this is troll. Should probably not show that. Okay, so he has the repair parts. So he's doing this thing where he's standing over here. I think Dude Savant, you were doing a good job of like being a lot closer to door. Again, you need to be playing in this area, and how you see like where I'm stepping. So I'm a distro. I'm holding up shield, so everybody gets their fortification stuff. You should be bouncing in between those two spots when you're low, right? But so standing here is a big issue, uh, because yeah, again, like this is our choke point. This is like where maximum stoppage can occur, right? So as they're looking to push, and the shot caller's like, okay, Papa Cleanse, let's get to pushing. And as you see them starting to push in, they all have to funnel in through this one small corridor. So you and the opposing IGVG should be crashing the door. Okay, you should already be standing here. You should be crashing the door though and stepping as soon as you see them starting to press and acting as a body block here. Okay, so I tell people a lot of time, like, step in, do your ice wall or do your scream. You're going to be taking a lot of damage. So I immediately entomb, like, in the middle or as close to the middle as possible. So you act as like this natural barrier that they crash into. You're waiting a half a second or maybe a quarter of a second. You're popping it so you get um, the fortification bonuses from that. And then you're just cycling through your ice wall, your scream, and your vines on repeat. Some people, some bruisers or whatever will leak through, right? So a lot of mistakes that I see people do, and I see a lot of bruisers do, is like two or three people will you know will leak through and get in behind, and everybody turns to fight these people, right? So what happens when you do that? Vision's all here, everybody starts pressing in behind, right? So your eyes, especially as an IGVG, should be perma on the door, okay? Um, until most of the people are through, and your biggest indicator is tick, right? So if there's no tick and you see a bunch of lights still outside, one IGVG can delay 7 or 8 people from walking in for free. Um, so that's really important for you to do that. So like a lot. So again, so a lot of the mistakes as I see is this. So he's doing a good job like stepping up and ice walling, but then he's immediately backing up. You need to be as close to the door as possible so that you can be in a good position for a push in. So let's see what happens when he does a crash when they push in for free. Okay. All right. All right. So he's stepping far back here. So they're looking to crash, or they're looking to press the push in. So they're pushing in now. So you can see like some people are already leaking through. You as an IGVG need to just ignore all this stuff, pop your consumes, and go to the door. And you should be so he has scream up, he has ice wall up. You put your ice wall down, you start screaming, right? And you're telling your bruisers to go and crash the door. So in theory, there should be one IGVG, two IGVG, two bruisers, two bruisers. So a total of 6 people crashing this door, plus potentially any distros or whatever, right? Um, so if people do this and you crash the door, they cannot get in. Okay, they will leak. You'll see a couple people leaking through, but the main army can't get in, and they will have to reset. Okay, so if the numbers are even, they will not get in on this choke point. As soon as people are giving space, they can start to leak in, and it's exactly what happens here. Is like they start to press in, a lot of people back up. Hyper's giving them too much space, um, and we're just hard. So I remember specifically in this part, I'm like, where are the anchors? Where are the flags? Like, everybody should be here. There should be like a ton of people right here, standing here, ready for the push, and they're just walking in for free. So you see like this massive humanity pushing in, and at this point, you're cooked, right? So even if you're late to this, um, because there's going to be opportunities where like the war's happening and you're getting there late, you're respawning or whatever. Even if you see this happening, um, I will pop my cleanse and I will still go to the door because you see like a bunch of people are getting through, but you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people are still at the door. So my eyes are still going to the door here, to try to crash it and try to get my bruisers here. But instead, um, and I already talked to Hyper about this, but like he backs away and he's like he sees some tick and he's going to point, right? So like this is not the correct way. You need to be waiting, and him as an anchor, like it needs to be to this point for him to
I think he
be
was
doing what
flex.
he's
I
doing.
was anchor on that gate.
Okay, heard. So he needs
But
to
he did
wait
have
till
the repair
like
parts.
Yeah, so
I thought
that's
it
a
was
little
weird, but
confusing.
that's what was
Yeah.
assigned. Anyway.
No, but that's good to know for next time. But yeah, he needs to be like maybe here at this point as a flex, 30%. His bruiser should be going to point first, and then he should be the last person. He should be assisting you over there. But he goes straight to point, which, we just let in like 15 to 20 people for free, right? Um, so that's very important that you do that. It's very important for you to be vocal too as an IGVG, because a lot of bruisers will be like, "Oh, they're ticking, right?" Even though it's like fake tick or whatever, or it's like stagnant. Um, like you as a 5-man could potentially stop 15 plus people from coming in for free, right? And even if you are staggering them, um, and let's say that like a couple of the bruisers get in for free, all their lights are coming in behind. You're focusing on the lights here, okay, as much as possible. Um, okay, so hopefully that's clear for everybody. That it's super important. That's your biggest advantage as a defender. I've been doing IGVG for years now. Um, it is like probably when you have a really experienced IGVG at the door, it's really apparent how much of an impact you can do for push-ins. And not to say I'm like the best VG of all time or anything like that, but like here's an example from a while ago of a war that I had. That was a good example, and then I just started like trying to teach people this of like what you're supposed to do, what you're trying to do.
All right, here we go.
No cooldowns.
They're about to ego us here. Ready to match?
So you can kind of see like
And Sacred's
a
up
bunch
in
of how many people are here and what they're looking like. You can kind of see when they're looking to
three,
press soon.
flying
Usually, like an indicator, you'll see like 1 or 2 people like start to press a little early, and you know like okay here they're looking to send, they're looking to press
Right
in.
now, get ready to match.
So like I see a bunch of people pressing in. So I'm dodging forward. I probably would not dodge. That's probably not a good idea. I would probably just run up. Um, so as soon as you see pressure pushing in, you need to be attacking the door, right? And the other IGVG should be doing the same. I'm screaming. They're pushing. I'm still trying to find space into the door.
Sacred and
I'm vinesing.
clapping.
I'm still pressing. I even dodge forward. I'm still pressing to that door frame to try to body block as much as possible. I'm entombing, right? So like all of a sudden they had all this space to move in, and now that's blocked. So they have this little tiny space here, and now they have this other space. That's why it's really important, like the IGVG, be pressing and doing the same thing, because it creates like a really tough place to just free run in. I do that. I get a refresh on my ice wall. I put the ice wall down. Now all of a sudden they're realizing they're stuck, right? I see a bunch of red on my bar. I don't have cleanse. I don't have entomb. So I'm looking to sit here at the barrier, at the little corner here, to mitigate some of the damage. But I'm still in a good position to see what's happening here. So I put all my stuff down. But you're seeing like their health bars like start to chunk down, right? So like the bruisers are doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're attacking the gate. I did what I was supposed to be doing here, but me doing that play, and just kind of staggering them and slowing them down allowed for the bruisers to follow up. And they all have to back up, right? And they all have to back up and reset.
Yo, they're starting their pushing.
Nice, nice, nice. And then once you're at this position again,
Sacred
you just
on
do the same thing.
clapping.
Trying. Yeah, they're working in their
You
way.
sit in, you do this, you do the ability rotation, and you just start over again. You do the ice wall, you do all that stuff, okay? So,
Clapping.
All right,
we'll
here we
just do
go.
it in real time.
No
Like,
cooldowns.
They're about to ego us here. Ready to match?
they're about to ego us.
And Sacred's up in 3.
We only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people at the door.
Flying
right now.
We should want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Spawns right now. Get
And they have more than
ready to
7.
match.
I gotta get out.
Single.
But pressing the door,
Single spot.
screaming,
Sacred and
Oblivion Vines,
clapping.
People in heaven
entombing,
are-
ice wall,
Yo, bully them
Single,
out.
yeah.
at
Cleansing
these gates,
off.
knock them.
they're pushing. Look, oh no, at the door,
Spawns
at the
coming
door.
in 15 here.
And then
Yo,
we're
they're
just
starting to
repeating the
push into
cycle.
I don't
Nice,
have another
nice, nice.
single.
So if both IGVGs are doing that, if all the bruisers are attacking the door, it's gonna be really hard. And the only way to really counter this, as a shot caller, is they like front load a door with a lot of people, and then they bulldoze through. Or like I've seen people like rotate, they're like over rotating, and then they're like rotate back, and they do like weird stuff like that. But like if you're really good at defense, like I think this is Merc guards, and I think Merc guards is really good at defense. specifically because like their door play was really good. But like once they were in, it was kind of GG's. So that's kind of just really important to think about. And then the only other thing that I want to kind of drive home is like when to look to repair. So I see a lot of like IGVGs just like kind of hanging out um, at point, like as a anchor, especially on defense, you have to be looking to um, like when the point is won. Okay, so like it's kind of hard to tell, like, but with experience, you kind of know when like we hard won a crash, right? So it looks like here we do this, we see a couple people dying, it's ticking up, we get some kills, and now we're seeing a D-tick, right? So as the repairer, as soon as you start to see D-tick and you look around and things look manageable, I'm directly going to the door, right? I'm sprinting to the door and I'm looking to get a repair off. Okay. Um, yeah, which is what he does. Okay. Which I think he does end up getting it. Yeah. So that's super good. You want to not be outside here either. You want to repair from the inside. But I don't know if everybody knows this trick. You should if you don't. But in case you don't, if you find yourself you get stuck, you can entomb and use the door. So if you're ever stuck out here, just entomb, and you can still press E, and you'll get in for free. So, and then as soon as your door is repaired, that's when you can look for opportunities to repair B or the adjacent back door, which would, in that case would be D. Okay, so those are the only times you're really looking to repair those things. Now, in this war, for whatever reason, Hyper and Willie were like really trying to get B door up, which I get it. Like, there's a lot of value in getting B door up if you can. I just don't want you to waste your energy and a lot of your time when it's a pretty high risk thing to do, and you're probably not going to get it. So here he's got A door up. He's looking to D door. So this is good. This is good. Okay. As soon as you see somebody drop down and they're on you like this, it's time to go. You stop wasting your time. It's not your job anymore. A door is down, right? You need to be back at your gate. So, you know, if he got D door up, that was fine. But as soon as this is not working out, he should just leave. But he tries to stay and force it. And you just got to remember, like, you're one of two IGVGs for your door. When you're not there, it's like, it's pretty significant. This is probably your most important role, most impact that you can do in this role as an IGVG. So you got to really make sure that you're at the door. So like Savant, for example, you're doing a good job. Like you're at the door, you're doing this, and like the flex, and this is not on Hyper. And we already talked about this, and like this is the bruisers as well. Like everybody's off, like kind of doing their own thing here, when everybody should be consolidating like here, right? On the resets. And then like this play, like helping shops, helping top, like the only time you're ever going to do that is if all the gates are up. Okay, so like let's say B, or let's say B, because B is pretty hard to get, but let's say A and D are up, right? Then you're looking to clear dirt, then you're looking to clear hell, then you're looking to clear shops and going and assisting. But like until these gates are up, your main prio as an IGVG is to hold your gate, okay, and try to get repairs. Now on the flip side, on attack, a lot of our IGVGs don't do this, where they like, you should be panning. I mean, in theory, you should know who the other IGVGs are, and you'll, with time, like know like when they're looking to leak out and repair. But IGVGs for your corresponding door should be looking to see them repairing, and as soon as you see them repairing, you need to leak out and disrupt that, and then call it, either main comment or call somebody from your group to get them off, because it's really big to get a repair like this. So yeah, he gets pinged on this, and so it's okay to stop repairing, but I would just stay here still, okay? Unless tick is going, and you can see tick is going down. So that should be your like all-time indicator, is like tick, right? If tick is okay, or it's deticking, or it's stabilized, and it's this low, you focus on the door. And like I would be calling my bruisers back to door, right? Or even to dirt, and we can fight front to back to door. But hyper leaves, and this bow gets to walk in for free, right? Whereas if you hold this bow here, G9 for example, so Pugrat's G9, G9's fighting a 5v4, right? And they don't have their bow DPS. So like you holding them here, like G9 might be able to win this, right? And then translate this into dirt. So it's very important for everybody to just like make sure you're holding the door as much as possible, right? So okay, so here's a good example. He's fighting, he's doing his thing, and then I don't mind trying this every once in a while. Like if you see like we're pretty close to getting B door up, um, that's fine. But this is like you can try it once or twice in a war, and then they kind of wise up, right? So, I would be primarily focused on like A door. We get it up, that's a big win, but
Wouldn't you want to get a B gate repair like a lot later on too? Like at 15 minutes,
I
it
would
feels kind of.
I think so, yeah, because it's just like kind of a morale thing at that point when there's so much time left. It's like, oh shit, look, there's one more thing they have to think about, right? But yeah, you're right. Like it's really not valuable until like under 5 minutes, um, and then it's like a big deal, right? They start to panic.
Does B gate still have the thing where you can't damage it, like the
I
frame,
think they
while
fixed
you're
it.
mid repair? They fixed that? Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
there's not like incentive to like leave it at like 2 repair parts short and then just fix it
I
at
don't
like
think
5
so.
or 4 minutes left. Okay.
I honestly haven't heard or tried, but I'm pretty
It's not
sure.
really a good way to test that, so.
Yeah. So this is crazy. So going here, um, when A door is up and you have repair parts, and they're resetting, like both of these guys need to understand, like, we're resetting. There's no tick. You should be at your gates. You repairing this is delaying maybe like 30 seconds. You know, um, you're kind of wasting parts on this when they're gonna get it down anyway. If it's under 2 minutes left, sure, right? Like this is really good, but you need to be at your gate. Just think like anytime there's a reset and you're not at your gate, you're just kind of throwing, right? You're putting your gate at a massive disadvantage for them to push in for free. Okay. So same thing again. He's late to the door because he was off doing stuff in B. Some people leak through, and then he decides to focus on this stuff. And even though it's like really juicy, and you think, well, maybe we can get some kills, their healer is right here. They can clap, they can single target or whatever. I'm looking to press this, so they can't get in. Bruiser should be capping on this, and they're just looking to go through, right, and go to point. So if everybody collectively goes here, then the bruisers have to turn around and respond to it, right? But yeah, I don't know what they're. I mean, a couple of them went, but yeah. So this is not. So okay, does that make sense? Is anybody like confused by what I mean when your prio should be your door, the area which you should be playing the door, and the only real time to be coming up here is to either grab parts, cleanse, and then back at your door. It's also like really imperative too. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say real quick. So it sounds like I probably played Fort pretty well there, where I tried building C. So you can be honest.
Mm, wait, where?
I did during this war because I kept trying to build C. I did not go towards point whenever I was just watching Tick,
Mm,
and then I was always keeping like 1 to 3 people kind of busy out there with me.
yeah, I can pull up your thing here.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. All right, let's see. Were you were anchor?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so it's ticking, it's ticking. We're starting to detick a little bit. Yeah, we're starting to detick, so this is a good time to repair. That's really funny. But that's fine. Like if you want to keep doing this, this is fine. If the bow, like, you're taking away his prio, right? So if you want to sit here and like kind of play like that and force them to answer you, like that's good in my opinion.
Good.
I would just obviously watch your health so you don't get beamed, and then watch your
And then
stamina.
I got a bad tomb here, and then I died.
Yeah.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
yeah. So I would say the thought was good, right? Your macro was good. But the execution, right? But so just be aware, like the bows hurt, right? So and you're not spec for bow,
Yeah.
so if they are dinging you like that, just play like the outside a little bit better. Um, but yeah, exactly. That's what you should be doing. So no tick. Yep, you're looking to press them out here. You're forcing them to follow. So yeah, this is fine. I would be calling. I don't know what your comms are like, but I would be
Whoa.
calling my bruisers over. Like you guys have no tick, right? We have no pressure on point. Like your anchor groups or even your flex group should be coming back to gate, right, and cleaning this up. And then a lot of the times you can ask your bruisers to block for you here, right, as you repair. I could say like, hey guys, like C door is almost repaired. I need you guys back at gate to block for me. Like a lot of what we're doing here is kind of confusing what we're doing when we have an opportunity to get a gate up and stagger. Also, when you're sitting here, that's a good point. You will see people who are in danger, and especially from kill squads, look to drop down and out. So like always kind of have your ice wall handy for the door to ice wall the door. So when you see that like low people, they're like instinctively trying to go out this way. You can ice wall
Good
and
flash.
secure the kill. Oh, we got both back gates up. That's good. Okay, but like, and this is why it's super important. Like for the bruisers too and IGVGs to call the bruisers because like again, we won point, we won like de-ticked it to 0, and no one's at their gate, right? So you see people just like free coming in for free, right? When we should have at least a 5-man here fighting
Gotcha.
this, okay, and trying to help you repair. As soon as this is repaired, you can go crazy, right, and start doing this and going this way and doing whatever. But the prio is this, right? For you, especially as a VG, should be the first one there, and you should be calling your bruisers to come back as well. But so your thought was good, but you need to have your like I still don't know what your bruisers are doing. Was match one of them? So like you need to call them
Not
back.
match last night.
Yeah, you got to call them back to help you with this. Um, yeah, and this is I kind of briefly looked at the VODs for this side, but it's the same thing, right? So it's like you're standing here. I'm not sure who the other VG was, or was Willie. Willie's repairing shops right now. Like I would, the prio is this. The prio is the door, right? So the prio is this. They're on a reset. They're looking to crash in soon. They all have to funnel in through this one spot. You and Willie should be here, right? Your bruiser should be here, and we're stuffing the gate, right? Um, but right now it's just you and Voiden. So it's like kind of a little sketchy. So now they full send on you. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 people. Like these guys are way too far back. Um, and they get to press in for free, right? Um, so in this situation too, like again, this looks super juicy or whatever, but I would still be looking at all like the healers and damage dealers, like fire staffs, all the lights that are pressing behind. I'm coming in here. Your ice wall's almost up. Put an ice wall here, right, and just delay them as much as possible. Um, don't worry about securing those kills. Like even if all these bruisers get through with no healer, with no damage, no fire staffs or anything like that, they can't do much, right? Which looks like you do, maybe just a little late. But yeah, you really got to hold your team accountable because like one IGVG can't hold it, right? So, um, but yeah, exactly. Like you should be looking at this. Like you see it kind of stagnate here. It's deticking. You're back to try to repair, you know. And so like even if you're okay, so like instead of walking back in, just like walk this way, right? And kind of peek at respawns to see if they have respawns. Um,
Yeah, but
because if you
yeah,
walk back this way, he's just gonna
line of sight at all.
yeah, he's gonna unload on you. Um, and you'll be surprised sometimes they do this, and yeah, you can like. Oh, I thought you were gonna sneak it again. Yeah, you can like sneak in. They'll lose sight of you. They're on to the next thing.
Yep.
So I'd say this is really good, right? Tick is okay. Yeah, and they're doing a good job pressing you. But yeah, this is much better, like where you're standing. But you know, if
Cool.
he's got eyes on you like this, like don't try to force it, right? You can
Yeah,
try to
he can
force his
definitely have flush
attention
point.
and like keep doing this, right? Back and forth. But I would be calling my group back. Like, so we're literally playing the defense on hard mode, right? So like we're literally letting people in for free in C and A door, like for free, all war, and we still hold them with 1 minute left, right? Like I feel like if we just fix this one thing, it'll make it infinitely harder for them to win, right, and establish in fort. But they were just like perma getting full fort presence, and they were just like it was snowballing into our kill squads, it was snowballing into our G8, like, and it was snowballing into our dirt. So it's really important, just like your as IGVG, like this is one of your most important roles or most important things that you do as an IGVG, and you set the tone for defense, right? So I just want you to make sure that you're doing that. I know it's kind of corny, but like what I do is like I'll go into OPRs, I'll go to like the center thing, and I'll practice in the doors, right? And I'll just like sit in the doors and I'll try to take as much damage as I can. I'm like layering my CC as they're looking to push, right? And you can kind of see with what your gear, what you got, how much damage you can take, and just kind of get a feel for that. Um, and yeah, you should be good. So if you guys just implement this kind of things, just remember doors prio, tick is your indicator, and try to rally your bruisers to crash gate, right? I think just making those small adjustments will make it a lot cleaner in fort phase. So
Yeah, I don't think I've ever tried to call them back, but it makes perfect sense.
yeah, yeah, because bruisers will just like perma do this like over and over, right? Like um, and even if the like I will say like even if the caller is like okay I need to bring everybody in, like I'm even thinking hesitantly like if tick is like this, I will often not listen to the caller, right? Like if we're looking at like a 40 and it's like fast ticking, like okay something happened, right? And we're looking to help point, but a lot of callers will like overreact too because they see a thing, and like you'll see 10 plus people here still, and he's like calling everybody off, and I'm like no just stay. I'll tell people like just stay. We'll fight it. Crash the door, crash the door. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Does anybody have any questions before I stop the video here? We're running out of time. Okay.
Sorry, can you start from the beginning?
No.